Let me explain.
I just wanted to share some do's and don'ts about like the home buying process and what's going to make the home buying process like super smooth. These are very general kind of ideas, but hopefully if you stick with them, uh, everything will run a lot smoother in the end for you. Okay, so the first do that I have is get an idea of what your actual credit score looks like across all credit bureaus. Sign up for ways to kind of try to check that for free. And the reason why I say this is because sometimes you never know what lender you're going to go with and you never know what credit bureau they're going to use. So a lot of people will be like, oh, don't follow Credit Karma because it's not accurate. I followed Credit Karma. I also kind of kept up with my credit score through other means, and the Credit Karma score ended up being the most accurate when I ended up going with my credit union. So please always keep up with your credit score because it definitely matters when you're trying to buy a home. The first don't. Do not overlook any debt that you have, and that includes medical bills and student loans. I know some people say medical bills don't necessarily factor in when you're looking for a home, but I didn't want to take any chances. And so I would say to you, don't take any chances. Make sure that you're keeping up with your debts. Make sure you're paying off your debts. And if you don't have enough money to completely pay them off, make sure you're making payments on those debts. I know at this point in time, with COVID going on, a lot of the board, no, excuse me, what is it? The Department of Education, Lord have mercy. The Department of Education has suspended or temporarily suspended payments, or people don't have to make payments right now. But even if you don't have to make payments, make something. Even if you put $1 down, even if you put $5 down, because I was like, ooh, I don't have to pay my student loans for the next year, and it definitely affected me being able to get a certain amount of money for my loan to buy a house. I honestly probably could have gotten more, but I wasn't paying on them student loans. So make sure you're paying on your student loans. Make sure you're paying off any other debt before you actually like start the home buying application process. Again, I'm looking at my notebook, but the next do is make sure you're shopping around for the best lender. Make sure they are not all created equal. The loan amount as well as the interest rate could either be higher or lower depending on the lender that you go with. I went with a credit union, but the credit union was not the first, place that I kind of shopped around for a loan. And the first two people told me that I could. Well, the first person told me that the amount that I qualified for was much lower than the credit union, and the second lender that I went with, that I researched, told me that I could get a higher limit than what my credit union offered me. However, the interest rate was higher and they kind of gave me the runaround. And so I ended up just saying, you know what? I want to go with somebody that I know is definite, somebody I already have an established relationship with. And so even though my credit union kind of fell in that middle ground as far as how much money I could actually qualify for, I still decided to go with them because it made the process so much smoother. So, look around, shop around, but if you have a really good relationship with your bank or with your credit union, you might want to go with them. The next don't. Do not go with a group of people just because they have a relationship with one another. So what do I mean by group of people? Like sometimes you might go for a lender and that lender requires you to choose or strongly suggest that you choose their realtor from their list of realtors. Don't do that. Don't do that because all it takes is for one company or one part of the process or one part of the team to be thrown off, and it could leave a bad taste in your mouth. So, and that's really what happened in the beginning with me while I was researching. That second lender that I had researched wanted me to go with a specific realtor, and even though I liked that realtor, the lending company was trash. And so when it came time for me to kind of let the lending company go and go with my credit union, I felt terribly bad that I had to let the realtor go. But in the end, she really wasn't the right person for me. And, I just felt kind of bad that I had already kind of like started interviewing them, that I started interviewing the lender and that I started interviewing the realtor as well. And she was under the impression that I had hired her and I had not. And I had already had a real estate agent in mind already, and that's the person I ended up going with. But it just made things awkward. So do not, if somebody says, oh, we have a whole team set up for you, because all it takes is for one piece of the team to crumble, and now you're left in an awkward space of having to either like move on without that one part of the team, or you might have to let the entire team go, and that's just a mess when you have to start all the way over if you don't already have another team involved or in mind. And I do want to point out, when I say like a team, or when you're looking, this is just you shopping around at this point. You have not signed any type of commitment papers. Obviously, once you sign a commitment paper, those are the people that you have to go with, at least for a certain amount of time, before you can, move on and cut ties with them. So this is all when you're at the point of shopping around and you're thinking about, signing a contract and committing to one team, one lender, one realtor or real estate agent. The next thing I would say is, do not go with the first real estate agent slash realtor that you come across. There are going to be a lot of people, especially here in Atlanta. Everybody is in real estate, literally. Everybody has a real estate license. Everybody knows somebody who's in real estate. And so there are going to be a lot of people that are going to suggest my homegirl, my homeboy, my aunt, my cousin, your coworker that works with you every day and badgers you every day the second they find out that you're in the market for a home. Don't go with the first person that offers you their services. Shop around, interview people. You can have a consultation with a realtor or real estate agent and not have to actually commit to that real estate agent. So that's what I would suggest you do. And the things that you need to look for are like, does this person know the area? Is this person concerned about where I actually spend my money and how I actually spend my money? Or are they just looking to, put me in a house so they can get their, portion of the money? If they know what they're doing and they know the home buying process, that's great. But how is their attitude? Like, does their attitude clash with my attitude, or does it mesh very well? Do we get along? If I'm somebody who is, indecisive, are they gonna lose their patience with me? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to end up with somebody who knows what they're doing, but your personalities don't match at all. And you don't want to end up with somebody who's awesomely friendly and you guys will make great friends outside of business, but they don't know what they're doing. So make sure you shop around before you commit to a realtor slash real estate agent. And make sure that you're satisfied with who you're working with. Once you find that real estate agent, that realtor, trust their expertise. You vetted them, you like them, you signed a contract that says that you're going to work with them at least for the next 30 days or so. Trust their expertise. Do not be the type of client that questions their every suggestion. You question all of their advice. No, at the end of the day, you're the person that's paying for the house, so you need to trust their gut. But you need to trust your gut, excuse me. But you can still take their advice on certain things. And what do I mean by that? Your real estate agent knows the game, so they know whether whether you may need to, consider downsizing, your dream home from 3 bedrooms to 2 bedrooms, or from 4 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms. They may say, they may suggest an area or a home that might be slightly outside of the area that you would have preferred to live in, but it's right there on that line. They may suggest that you up your bidding price or your offer price a little bit, or they may suggest, hey, I don't think this house is worth it. Maybe, you should lower your offer price or stick it out and wait to see, if you're going to. Sorry, I got a phone call coming in. Give me 1 second. Okay, so hey, sorry, y'all. That was somebody calling me. But yeah, back to it. We was talking about, what was we talking about? Oh, we was talking about your trusting your agent. Like, your agent they know the game, they know what they're doing. Trust them. If they tell you you need to go down on your offer, you probably should. If they tell you you need to kind of up it a bit, which is what mine told me, hey, if you got the cash, you might want to up that offer a little bit more, and then you'll see the results that you're looking for. Went into the next don't, which is don't be swayed, and that's basically self-explanatory. Don't be swayed on anybody. Don't let anybody sway you from making your decision, because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to live in that house every day, not them. So don't let anybody sway you. Okay, so this video was getting quite long, so for the sake of time, I decided to split this up into 2 parts. So if you would like more advice on what to do when purchasing a home, please go ahead and check out video number 2. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.